Oh, hey there, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com and of course Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube, and I just got back from Ghostbusters Fan Fest presented by Wizard World. And let me tell you guys, the hype was real. I had an absolute amazing time at Ghostbusters Fan Fest. For what was hyped up as a once-in-a-lifetime event, I really hope they return and they do it again next year at the Sony Studios, just in time for the new Ghostbusters film, because once again, I had a blast. And before I talk too much about FanFest, quick heads up that we did stay at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel. For those who don't know, the Millennium Biltmore was the hotel they used for filming the Sedgwick Hotel scenes in the 1984 classic, of course, Ghostbusters. If you'd like to check out our tour of the hotel, we've got it right now, right here, up on the Ghostbusters News YouTube channel. Okay, so back to FanFest. When we first arrived there, I was trying to find the exact entrance, how to get into it, because we were going as part of press, so I was trying to find the correct gate to get into. And what was really cool, there was a guy there and his family. They drove up beside me, they stopped, and they're like, "You're that guy, you're the guy from YouTube." So I was recognized immediately, which I'm going to touch on that later on in the video, but seriously, the guys out there that actually watch this YouTube channel, that came up to me, approached me, said hello to me, all of you guys are awesome. But eventually we found the proper entranceway, we got our passes, and we were inside Ghostbusters Fan Fest, and there was Ghostbusters stuff from ear to ear, everywhere you look, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because pretty much when you walk into this room, everywhere you look is Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. Planet Coaster was there, showing off their brand new Ghostbusters theme DLC, which I've been playing ever since getting back, and it is amazing, it's fantastic. They even hooked us up with this t-shirt featuring the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the Ecto-1, and I don't know why, but I can't bring myself to opening up the packaging. Playmobil also had a huge presence there, showing off all their brand new Ghostbuster items, including some of their old ones as well. It was pretty fun to watch kids today play with Ghostbuster figures, much like I did back in the late 80s. K-Swiss, the shoe company, they were there too, showing off their brand new Slimer and Stay Puft shoes. And we're posting the video up on the channel of our full unboxings of these. But let me just tell you right here, right now, before you even watch that unboxing, I love these. They're beautiful, and I want to be buried with them. Eagle Moss were also there, and they were showing off their upcoming Ghostbuster miniature statues of Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, Winston Zeddemore, and Slimer. They also had a completed build-your-own Ecto-1 on display with lights. Freaking the actual windows even rolled down. This thing was so cool. IDW Comics, they were also there, showing off their upcoming Blackout Ghostbusters board game, which looks incredible. One of my favorites was certainly Chronicle Collectibles, showing off their upcoming real Ghostbuster statues. And these guys are pre-orderable right now. We've got all the details right up on GhostbustersNews.com. But the cool thing is you pre-order all 4 main Ghostbusters and you get Slimer for free. And these guys are expected to ship in spring of 2020. So right in time for next year's brand new film. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There was several more vendors there, but if I kept yapping about them, this video would probably go on for a good 20 minutes, and I'm trying to get things done today. I got a lot more videos to record. Now, the main stage for the show was easily accessible. I noticed at first when I walked by and I saw Maurice LaMarche, who voiced Egon Spengler in the Real Ghostbusters animated series, Dave Coulier, who voiced Dr. Peter Venkman on the later episodes of the Real Ghostbusters animated series, and Joe Medjick, who has worked as a producer on the Ghostbusters films, the Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters. And once again, just having all of this talent just so close to you, you just walk by and there they are, and you can sit down and you can listen to them, you can ask questions to them, was just so cool. And after that panel, I got up, I walked a little bit to the side, and what did I see? I saw a Terror Dog. Yes, Spirit Halloween's upcoming Terror Dog. And this thing looks incredible in person. Pre-orders are live for right now. We've got a pre-order link right down below in the description for you. But my first impressions is I need to buy one of these things. I need a Terror Dog of my own when it's released this August in time for Halloween. I love it. It looks great. Now, of course, any Ghostbuster fan that visits Sony Studios, you gotta head to Ghost Corps, you gotta head to where the magic happens, right? And on the exterior, of course, they had the Ecto-1 from the original Ghostbusters film on display, and of course the Ecto Ecto-1 from the 2016 reboot. Love seeing both of these in person. They looked fantastic for the event. Now, a cool attraction that I did not know was going to be at Fan Fest was this really cool real Ghostbusters card back, albeit an oversized card back. And maybe this photo here isn't doing it any justice of just how big it was. The idea of this card back was you could take your photo in front of it and look like an action figure. There I am. So simple, but so fun. Ghost Corps, I loved that you had this. Wizard World, just perfect. You did so good. You did good. Oh, and of course, Wizard World and Ghost Corps opened up their arms for franchises. There were so many Ghostbuster franchises at Fan Fest that had tables set up, which was great to see. And I wish I got footage of all of them, but I'm going to get into it a little bit later. It was kind of chaotic with how much stuff was actually going on at Fan Fest. The fact they tried to stuff it all into one day, and once again, I'm going to dive a bit more into that here in a few, but I wish I was able to get out and see all the franchises that I had planned to and that I had promised. Oh, and I also have to do a quick mention to the band, the Flux Capacitors. These guys were there and they were totally rocking the Sony studio lot. They were playing classic Ghostbuster tunes, they were playing classic 80s tunes. People were getting up, they were dancing, they were shaking, they were shimmying. This was such a great addition to the event. Now remember a few minutes ago where I told you celebrities were like highly accessible at the show? I physically bumped in to Dan Aykroyd and Maurice LaMarche. On top of that, I had a pretty awkward moment with Paul Feig, the director of the 2016 Ghostbuster film, which just filled my heart full of joy. He was walking one way, I was walking his way. He was like, "Ah!" I thought he was waving at me. And I was like, "Ah!" He wasn't waving at me, but he still turned to me and he was like, "Oh, how you doing?" I shook his hand, and then my life had purpose. Seriously, meeting Paul Feig was a bucket list item for me. Hate if you want. Speaking of Paul Feig, let's talk about the director's panel. Probably one of the best moments of Ghostbusters Fan Fest. They had Ivan Reitman, they had Jason Reitman, they had Paul Feig, all up on the main stage. I was just mere feet away of all three of them recording, and some of that footage is already right now on the Ghostbusters News YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. But I was so happy with the amount of love that the Ghostbusters fans showed Ivan, Jason, and most importantly, Paul Feig. The fans, they kept it classy, much like Paul Feig's suits. Now the whole event was capped off by Ray Parker Jr. just totally rocking the house with a 16-minute long version of Ghostbusters, which also, once again, we have in its entirety up here on the Ghostbusters News YouTube channel. Seriously, seeing Ray Parker Jr. live, another bucket list item. You never forget your first time. Okay, so going back to the fans of Ghostbuster Fan Fest, which to me was the most important part of the entire event, you guys were amazing. No word of a lie, I had at least 50 people come up to me and they were like, "Hey, you're that guy from that Ghostbusters channel on YouTube. I love your videos." And seriously, it meant a lot. If I responded with, "Hey, thanks for watching," just know that you warmed the cockles of my heart. That seriously meant a lot. And there was like a handful of people that actually I signed autographs for, which like blew my mind. There was, God, probably at least 15, 20 people that I posed for photos for, and now I'm seeing those photos like pop up online. And once again, that blows my mind. So everybody out there that was there, everybody out there that's not there, that just watches this stuff, that appreciates the YouTube channel, the website, all that, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, it means everything. I just, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I don't want to name too many names because I'll be forgetting a ton of people, but I do want to thank, in particular, GB Massimo from Italy. He's been following the page for years upon years. He runs Ghostbusters Mania. He gave me this It's a certificate, Ghostbusters News written on there. He gave me a lot of stuff actually, but I got the photo up of him on the screen right now. He has been a long-time supporter of us. Once again, he comes from Italy. I mean, he was so cool. Also, Brent from the Arizona Ghostbusters. You guys are incredible. Brent in particular, he hooked me up with some items that I was not able to get at the show, and his generosity is just like off the page. Brent, you're wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm still going through boxes. Like, I've got so much stuff that we got from Fan Fest that I need to find homes for and put them around the room here. It's going to be a task. There's a lot of rearranging that I have to do, but I just had an amazing time. Once again, I loved what Ghost Corps, I loved what Wizard World put together, but most importantly for me, I really loved the fans themselves. Just how positive you guys all were at the show. It was amazing. Now, do I need to critique anything? Do I need to hate on anything? Hate would be a strong word. I don't hate anything about it. I do feel, though, that the con, rather than just being one day like at Sony Studios, it should have been 2 days. To panels, to photo ops, to autographs. There was so much happening in that like 7-8 hour time span. I mean, really it was like more like 6 hours when you take out like the 2 hour like end panel with the directors and the Ray Parker Jr. concert. They fit so much in that 6 hour time span that it was really hard to get everything done that I wanted. And I feel like I was being pulled from like almost every side to the point that I didn't get like anything done that I really wanted, but I still managed to have like an amazing time. That's the biggest critique. If Ghostbusters Fan Fest comes back for a second year, or if we see it for the 40th anniversary on the Sony Studios lot, I would just love, rather than one day, go 2 days and, you know, spread out some of the events, spread out panels, all that stuff a bit more, because there was a lot of stuff I wanted to do. I was attending the video game panel and I had to get up before it was over with and go and do something else because I didn't want to miss the other event. Also, I wanted to record a bunch more footage for this panel, but once again, there were so many other things. I was like, you know, I was waiting in line for this, or I was doing this, and I couldn't capture, you know, this other thing in time. So it was kind of like a juggling act all day. Still, though, an amazing time. I do want to thank Wizard World for inviting us out as press to Ghostbusters Fan Fest. Once again, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I had a blast. And I do want to thank, most importantly, Eric Reich from Ghost Corps for his generosity. You have been amazing, Eric, this whole time, sending us updates, keeping that line of communication going. It means a lot, man. So if this event does not turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and we get another one next year, we get another one in 5 years, do yourself a favor, do not miss out on it, because Ghostbusters Fan Fest, one word, amazing.